Good to see. You know, right now in Oregon, anti-government protesters are standing their ground in a fight over land.
I'm here to defend my freedoms and my liberties.
That is Eamon Bundy. He's leading the newly named Citizens for Constitutional Freedom group, which now occupies a wildlife refuge. The group's original goal was to keep two local ranchers from returning to prison for their roles in the burning of federal land. But the ranchers turned themselves in last night. You see that happening on your screen, hugging loved ones there. Bundy now wants to restrict the federal government's reach over wild lands and undo land transfers in the area. So we have Ryan Saltzman joining us this morning. He is the political science professor at NKU. Some questions now. Who is the militia? Who makes up the militia that are on federal property right now?
So these individuals who are taking action in Oregon are familiar to the federal government.
Yeah.
Eamon Bundy is the son of Cliven Bundy.
Who had trouble as well, correct?
He did. And he's had trouble, I think some would say for decades, conflicts with the federal government. So this is his son, and they were out there having a protest for the Hammonds, who had been convicted of arson for burning land.
So what happened is they served part of their sentence, but they didn't serve the minimum 5 years. The judge thought it was too harsh, let them go. I think one after 3 months, one after a little bit over a year. And another judge stepped in and says, hey, look, we want you to serve out the 5 years.
Right, so they're coming back in now. But this is part of a larger conflict that the Bundys have and others have with the federal government in Oregon and in the West.
What is that larger conflict?
Well, they believe that the ranchers believe, and a lot of landowners around there believe, that the federal government is overstepping its role, its bounds, its powers in its ability to hold lands, maybe for federal reserves or maybe for other reasons as well, or charging for grazing rights and the like.
They're armed, but are they violent?
Well, that remains to be seen.
Okay.
Right now, no. Right now, it doesn't appear that they're going to be unless the federal government tries to remove them forcefully.
So so the question is, why has the federal government not responded, I guess?
Because they want to avoid violence.
Okay.
Some people want to say that these individuals are terrorists. I don't think that that's accurate. I think that a terrorist organization desires to inspire terror to try to create policy change. These individuals are more like protesters who are armed, and so they're being dealt with more like protesters who have barricaded themselves and have the ability to exact violence.
But the reason why people might see them as terrorists is because the reason for that mandatory 5-year sentence was part of an anti-terrorism statute passed in like 1996,
right,
way before we were all thinking about it.
Right. It's very complicated,
yeah.
But I also think that we use the T word. We like to use the terrorism word very quickly, and it's hard for us to wrap our heads around the idea that protesters in one place that are singing Kumbaya could be the same as these individuals, but the reality is that they want a change in a policy, and they want that change to be exacted by the government.
They are the same. And when you talk about passion, when you talk about land in America, and when you talk about the right to bear arms in America, these are things that people are passionate about, correct?
Absolutely, and you're seeing with the president's executive orders yesterday, or at least his plans for his executive orders, this is very much a palpable topic and one that that's going to be interjecting itself into the campaign for sure.
Yeah, we expect the president to talk at 11:40. We're going to carry that live right here in terms of details of his executive order that might decrease access to weapons in this country. Ryan Saltzman from NKU, always good seeing you. Happy New Year.